What's up guys? This is Maximize. Welcome. So today guys, I wanted to go over some updates on my umbrella tree. So I've gotten a lot of hits and a lot of questions about this plant in particular. It is okay. Wesley is talking over me and interrupting me. He's my little queen. Oh, he's my little baby. I tried to keep the door closed while filming this and he wouldn't have it. I heard him like scratching at the door and being like, and I was like, okay, I'll open the door. And then here he is. Yay! So Wesley and I are going over an update on my umbrella tree and my umbrella tree cuttings that I've also been able to create from this mother plant, the mama umbrella tree. Gotten a lot of hits and questions about this plant, so that's why I thought it'd be good to just do a bit of an update, a bit more detail about how I've had success with this plant, because it sounds like this plant is real popular from what I'm collecting, what I'm analyzing from my videos and comments. Let's get into the Schefflera umbrella tree. So I've had this plant for at least like 3 years now, 2, maybe 2.5, 3 years. It's been a while. It's been one of my like no-brainer, easy, like cool kid plants. I don't know how to describe it. I just keep this plant in my kitchen window. It is south facing. It gets very hot in there. So the intense light is something that seems to really egg this plant on and make it fabulous and grow even taller. And when I first got it, it was probably like this tall. So it's really put on some height. I've propagated quite a few pieces off of this plant and I gave them all away because I literally I have plenty of the plant here. I just wanted to propagate it and share the love of this plant with my friends and my mother. So I think this plant really appreciates my southwestern window. I have never moved it to another spot because it just seems to really soak up the sun more than any other plant that I have. It can handle that heat in the kitchen. It can handle the sun in the kitchen. It's just a superstar. It's a pretty tough plant. I keep it in a terracotta pot. I feel like terracotta is truly key for this plant because it really allows the soil to dry out completely. And this plant does not like to be overwatered, or it will just start dropping leaves and you'll be like, what's happening? And then, you know, it'll die maybe. So it needs a lot of serious sunlight, if not some direct, some cactus mix, and a terracotta pot. Those are all the tricks of the trade that I am trading. I don't know how that phrase works. And that is how I maintain success with this plant. That's literally all I have to do. I just water it every time I kind of remember. And it's really good at showing you when it's thirsty too, because the leaves kind of droop down. They'll be like, you know, like that. And you'll be like, oh, okay, I need to water it. Cool. And then you water it and then you're happy and the plant is happy. I might fertilize it every month or so in the summer when it's really warm. But that's it. I want to show you guys my favorite method for propagating this plant because I made a video about propagating this plant by cutting off a piece and putting it in water, which I did have success with. Another method was wrapping a cutting in a wet paper towel and then in a baggie, which I've also had success with. But those methods, when you actually sever a piece off of a plant, they take months. Like literal months, guys. It took, I think, 5 months for the cutting in water to show anything. And it took about 5 months or so for the cutting wrapped in wet paper towel and plastic to show any kind of roots. So it takes patience. And it's like, if the cutting still looks healthy and green, then it's probably still got some life in it. And it's just fighting to push that root out. It just takes a long time for the plant to really process this information and spit out a root, you know what I mean? But by far my favorite method for this plant is air layering propagation. And I have a video up on my channel about how to do that with this plant in particular if you want to watch it in more detail. But that by far worked the fastest. It worked within a few weeks. All you have to do is like scrape off some of the branch, wrap it in a wet paper towel, and then some plastic and secure that on there, and you just leave it. You don't have to cut a piece off. And I always hate cutting pieces off of plants because it's so nerve-wracking, because you're like, what if it doesn't happen? What if it doesn't root? And it might not. Sometimes they just don't. It's just up to the plant and what it's feeling like. So by far, air layering is the easiest and the quickest for this plant in particular. My air layering cutting was actually so successful. It had a huge root about 1 inch long, and I severed it off of the plant and I put it right into dirt, and it started rooting like immediately. Like I could pick up the plant and the pot would stick with it. Like that's how quickly it rooted within a few days. And I gave that cutting to my mom because I wanted her to have like the queen bee of the cuttings, you know? And now the plant is flourishing. It looks so good. It's already like a year old, I think, and it's put on a bunch of new leaves, and it's in like a cute little pot. That is what can come of this. And if you don't necessarily want to put in a separate pot, you can fill in your current umbrella tree even more with these cuttings. So you just literally put them in the same pot, but I would keep them separate for a while for them to become an established plant, and then you can replant them into the same mama bear pot. Another thing about this plant is it gets really dusty all the time, I've been noticing, so you really want to make sure that you're like washing it and giving it showers, wiping down the leaves occasionally so it can soak up more of that sun, and I think it really benefits from that. It doesn't necessarily need a lot of humidity from what I've noticed. It just seems to be fine in like dry heat. I don't know, it survives in a kitchen, and I cook a lot in my kitchen, especially nowadays when I'm home all the time. Totally withstands it with total grace and beauty. And look, you can see all my like little baby leaves. They just look like little hands, you know, they're just like little hands reaching out. This is by far like one of the most unique houseplants you can have, and they're super common. You can really find them anywhere. I just have the straight green variety, but there's also varieties that are variegated. They have a little yellow in their leaves, they have a little white. It is a tree, so if you continue to grow it, it'll literally like grow into a tree. This thing can outlive you, similar to the ficus or any ficus. If you keep sizing up their pot, they'll just keep going. So I would repot this plant every couple years or so, and this one still has plenty of room. I put it in a really big pot when I first got it, so I think I still have time in this 12-inch pot, but eventually I might go even bigger, and then it'll grow to like 5 feet tall. No joke. These things can be that monstrous. Keep pruning them too. I know it seems counterproductive, but it really promotes growth, I promise you. Another good tip for this plant is to use trellis sticks. So I kind of like failed at it. I have like 3 sticks in here that are like supposed to be supporting it because at first like it became so top heavy that it felt like it needed, you know, a little more support to train that trunk to hold everything straight up, just to keep it from, you know, like growing sideways like that, because mine was for a while, it was growing like this, and I was like, okay, let's like calm down, let's work on that posture. So that's my umbrella tree, guys. Those are the updates on the cuttings that I've tried multiple methods with, and my favorite by far is air layering, so I highly recommend trying that. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't, please like, please comment, and let me know what you want to see, and please turn on that notification bell so you know every time I post, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!